Welcome to the No Hangover podcast.
Boom!
Like always, you can find us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. The visuals, check us out on YouTube. Social media platforms. We got Instagram at No Hangover Podcast, Twitter at No Hangover Pod. Check out the website right there.
NoHangoverPodcast.com.
Check out the latest merchandise.
No Hangover merch.
Yep. You could DM us for that, or
On
you could
Instagram.
check out the website. Either way,
Check out the podcast too.
you will find it. Like,
I
comment,
edit.
subscribe. You already know.
Ratings, all that good shit.
Si, senor. I'm pretty sure I listed all the platforms.
Yeah,
Pretty positive. All right,
get
well,
it too.
let's get to it.
Jacob, you're old now. Haha.
Oh, yes. This is true.
Happy birthday, belated.
Appreciate you.
Well, I was there, so.
I was not.
But
All right.
yeah,
You were
I
there.
was there in spirit.
Yeah.
I missed the actual birthday day celebration, but I was there pre-celebration.
Yeah, we had
you know what I mean? And after.
We had sort of celebrated before, and yeah.
Yeah.
But
Happy birthday to Jacob. He's 26. For everybody that doesn't know, I don't
Yep.
know if you wanted people to know, but
That's
they know
fine.
now
now.
they do.
He's on the back end of his 20s.
Yep, the back half.
You feeling old yet?
He's on the other
Oh
side.
yeah, 26 hit me like a ton of bricks.
He's on the other
Wait.
side with that guy.
Yep.
Actually, you're in the middle. See what I did there?
It's true.
25, 26, 27.
It's true. That's why
Nice.
I'm in the middle all the time.
Oh,
It's just the-
boom. Now they know.
It's just the
Start
gaps
calling
of
you
ages.
Malcolm.
Wow.
Don't know about all that.
Frankie.
No. Frankie Cat.
That's his real name.
It is.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him? Frankie Muniz.
Whatever happened to Macaulay Culkin? You know,
He's-
some kid stars are just some kid
Isn't
stars,
he
bro.
married to
Don't
what's
put
her
that kind
name?
of pressure on them.
The chick from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, London Tipton. I think they're
He
married.
is.
I'm
He
pretty
did
sure.
pull that. Brenda Song.
There you
Come
go.
correct.
There you go.
I seen that shit. I was like, all right, he's back on.
He fucking
He
up,
didn't fall all the way up.
down, and he's fucking back up
he's,
again.
He's coming back up.
Wow.
That is.
Brenda Song is very, very pretty young lady.
Yeah, she is. Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior.
And they kind of
Fuck
like,
what you heard.
since we're talking about Macaulay Culkin, I feel like they kind of like put that like creepy like narrative on him.
A
Like,
little bit, but drugs will do that to you. So
that is true.
drugs will fuck it. Oh, Michael Jackson, but he said that Michael Jackson never touched him inappropriately.
Let's
also,
not do that.
Michael Jackson had a monkey named Bubbles.
Hell of a segue. He did have a monkey named
And
Bubbles.
he had sign language. Would tell Bubbles to sit and whatnot. Bubbles.
He was throwing them gang signs.
No, like sign language.
Bubbles was throwing the West Side back.
Not Bubbles. Michael Jackson.
Michael
That's how they
Jackson.
communicated. Michael
Sign
Jackson would
language.
sign to
Mhm.
his monkey. His monkey knew it was good.
That is pretty lit.
Literally.
Did
So,
he wear a
uh,
diaper?
Yeah. Have you not seen the Jacksons movie?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bubbles has a diaper.
So he doesn't throw his feces.
Yeah.
Well, any new goals for 26? You wanna
Same.
get-
I mean, pretty much the same goals I had a couple months ago, but just progressive, more progression, I should say. Kind of little mini fire under my ass. Because your birthday, it's kind of, people have, I feel like, unrealistic expectations on their birthdays usually.
In what sense?
Like, I mean, granted, what we did was cool and all, but that's not like my ideal birthday situation. It's just a normal day, kind of.
Yeah.
I
So-
feel like this birthday wasn't that significant to you.
It wasn't, only because a couple reasons. One, 26 isn't really like
It's not a milestone.
It's like
It's another year, dog.
it is another year of
Every year's
life,
a milestone.
Correct. But
Another year around the sun. There's a milestone.
this is true. But it's not like a big birthday. Like 21, for instance, is a big birthday.
Yeah.
25, like, oh, you're
30,
midway.
those are
you're-
milestone
correct.
birthdays. 18, yeah.
Yeah. But
Is there any
like,
milestone birthdays? What's the next one after 30? 50?
Yeah, I would say
pretty
so.
much.
Damn, you have fucking.
Or maybe 40. And you're 40. I'm a man. I'm 40. So I'll make that one a milestone. And then, 50. And then, like, it's not really, I guess 60 could be one, but it's more like 65. Because that's like the big
Medicare
birthday.
age, that's
Yeah,
why.
that's like the big birthday.
AARP card, dog. You made it.
And then if you're like 75 and,
And
80,
retirement,
I feel
all
like
that. 65 is a hell of an age.
Golden
Yeah.
year. Shit, hopefully
my dad's
retire
gonna have
before
a
65.
Yeah,
a party
that'd
for
be
his
lit.
65th. I already know. 'Cause that's like a big birthday.
Couple
Yeah.
years away.
My dad, that's less than a year away. He's 64.
He's 64.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
shit.
skis.
We're doing a 50th for my dad in November.
What y'all gonna do?
Throw a party in Miami. You guys probably could come if you want.
When in November though?
November 11th. November 13th is November 11th is his birthday. November 13th is the day that we're doing the party. So it's a Saturday.
Ooh.
You motherfuckers is not invited, but
I cannot
show him love if you could.
I'll show love. I'll send
You
love. But
you mother-
I cannot go. I'm going to. I guess my little sister's having like a family thing at UF. So
Nice.
I'll go down there with you.
I'm going to one of the games, so that should be lit.
I wanted to go to EDC that weekend. I had planned to go.
Oh, that's.
I didn't know it was the same weekend. I got people going. I really want to go to EDC. I might try and make it Friday and then just go up to
Don't want to
Miami.
go to EDC. Don't want to go to Miami.
It's only like $99 for a 1-day ticket,
Yeah.
I haven't been to EDC in years.
but I'm probably not gonna go this year. Next year's the year.
Why?
I don't know.
In your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. No specific reason. Just cause.
You did say you wanted to go to
If
one.
next year's a great year, I'm gonna be thinking about you, bud. Like that guy, it's a prophet.
Shit. All right. Well.
Yeah, but-
26. You
but
said
26. Like I said, it's not like the biggest. It wasn't like the biggest deal in the world. And the unrealistic expectations. I feel like it's your birthday, so everyone's like, "Oh, I want to do this, this, and this." Like it's my day, blah 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 blah. But for at least in my case, I worked all week,
Yeah.
so like
Right.
it was a pretty rough week of work.
True.
I feel like I let go of that fantasy a long time ago of like your birthday being like, oh my gosh, it's your birthday. It's just
Same.
like it's just
You're
another
not.
day.
Yeah, you're not that kind of person.
No.
I could never really remember you being so like
I've never really been gung ho about my birthday.
super gung ho about let's do something for my
Yeah.
birthday. That's more Jacob. I fall in that category a little bit as well.
Pretty
So that's why I'm saying, because I know you so well and I've been a part of a lot of your birthdays, you usually have something planned and something together. So that's
Yeah.
why I felt like 26 wasn't that significant.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I hadn't
significant
really-
from the standpoint of you
I mean,
turning 26.
I planned some things.
That's a
but
blessing, but
those
festivities
plans-
wise.
I had planned some things, but the said plans didn't work out for me.
Uh-huh.
So kind of threw my whole.
Right,
Threw me off a little bit. So
Right.
I'm still, trying to get my bearings.
right.
So, but I just felt like after those plans got ruined, for instance, that what I did plan was cool. Like I felt, love and
That's
appreciated.
what I was going to ask you. That's my next question.
Yeah, like a bunch of people came out for my birthday. You did shit for my birthday. So I definitely felt appreciated.
Felt
Felt
the
like
love.
people loved me and shit. So that was
Wow.
cool. That was nice.
Right.
I didn't have my, like, I don't know, because during your birthday time, you usually have, like, your reflection moment. I haven't had that yet. I haven't really had time, though, to reflect.
Yeah, you've been going at it.
So, yeah, I've been pretty busy, like, this past week. So I feel like that's going to catch up to me eventually. And I'm going to have a day where I'm just reflecting shit. And like,
That's always good.
Yeah.
Ponder on
I'm waiting
life
for
and
it.
shit.
I'm waiting for it. But, yeah, kept myself pretty busy, pretty occupied so that I'm not really in my head, not in my thoughts like that. Not that I usually am ever in my thoughts like that, but I
Times
feel
are
like I
changing.
should be.
Times are changing.
Yeah.
Been there
Getting
before,
older,
bud.
getting wiser.
Been there before.
You got to be in that head a little bit more.
And I'm only 25.
You're next.
I am next.
Well, Dennis, you're next.
Dennis is next.
And then you.
He'll be 26. And then I.
Well, then Dylan, then Anthony.
Well, Dennis, Dylan, Anthony, then me. Yeah. I'm talking about in this room. But shout out to Anthony.
Actually,
shout
Brandon's
out to Dylan.
before you, Dennis.
Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Matt. He's after me. There we go.
All the birthdays. Everyone's birthday. Shout out. Happy birthday.
That we remember and care
If you're
about.
alive, we love you.
Keegan's birthday passed this past month, so
That
happy
is
belated to
true.
him.
Shit. Well,
Shout out to Keegs. Yeah, that cake. If anyone saw that cake,
Hennessy cake. Made
Keegs did not make it
by the
but-
hands of Keegan Sitters. Yes,
no,
he did.
Fuck no, he didn't. But he did get that from me.
Keegan's
so.
a baker. You know very well.
He is. The man
He
can
can
bake,
bake.
but he didn't bake that.
Betty Crocker ain't got shit on him.
It's true. That man can't bake. But yeah, pretty good birthday. Just like I said, it wasn't less. But that's the thing. I didn't really put unrealistic expectations on this birthday. Like, I've done it in the past. Like, I'm like, oh, this is such a big event or whatever.
You have.
And I've, like, tried to do something big or all out for it. But this year, I was just like, whatever happens, happens. Like, I planned what we did for my actual birthday. I planned that, like, last minute.
Yeah.
I worked, and then I got off,
one
went
of
to
your
the gym.
from what I've been a part of, I think one of your favorite things is being able to get everybody together.
I was talking
Like
shit about that.
as much as it is for you, it's also like you like
Yeah.
to see people who have strong relationships just haven't been around each other
Yeah.
in a period or in an amount of time. So you being able to be the in between person to bring everybody together. Like you,
which is funny because like
You
about
get
me
joy
being in
in
the
that.
middle of age, I
Mhm.
feel like that's how I am just in a lot of things. I'm like the middleman, or
Right.
like I'll bring people together, or I'll kind of like the glue in a sense where I could bring people together that they fuck with each other, they might love each other, but they haven't talked to each other in a while, or they haven't reached out to each other.
right?
But I like bridge that gap between them. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And I was talking shit on my birthday.
I know.
I was like, y'all better remember me. Y'all better remember this when I'm dead. That I
Was
brought
he
all y'all-
really? He was
Yeah.
in preacher
He was
mode.
saying that shit.
I wasn't in preacher mode. I wasn't like fucked up, but I was just telling.
Talking shit. He
Yeah, I
was
was
just
just talking
talking
shit.
shit.
Like y'all better remember this when I'm dead. Damn it, that I brought all y'all fucks together.
He did just like that.
Yeah,
I was
that's literally
witness.
how I was saying it.
I was witness to it.
Because I loved everyone that was there, but I was like, how do y'all not chill on your own? Like you only come out for shit like this for
That's
me,
the reality.
That's
of
which
life.
made me feel special. But at the same time, I was like,
Life.
I wish
Life
y'all
catches
could do.
up.
I wish y'all.
People have kids now. People have relationships.
I mean, I
now.
get
people
that.
have careers that they're trying to
This
focus
is-
on now. Like,
This is what.
Well, and I was fully, telling them that I understand that shit too. But it's always been that like I'm sort of, regardless of what's going on in my life, I'm one to put that extra effort, I guess, into keeping up with people,
and most people
making
don't.
sure they're good,
That-
shit like that.
But you got to understand too. Not all of us have the same rapport that you have with everybody.
That is
I mean,
true.
that's part of who you are. You kind of have a natural rapport with most people. Although we have relationships with people, like we're not just as close as you would be to that person.
True.
So that's why it's easier for you to do it than it would be for one of us to try and pull that off.
True.
But
Hold a couple more people
in
close.
in the grand scheme of things, I mean, like Eric just said, that's kind of just how life is.
Yeah,
You know,
life people
as
grow.
you get older,
people,
you get together for the big moments and the
Correct.
special moments, and you hold those near and dear to your heart because they become a part of your memories.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, you kind of speak and talk about past memories that you guys have built together, and that's how it kind of continues to grow.
Yep.
I feel like this year I've got to make a lot of life moments with people that I've already known for a long time, like with the wedding and shit like that, and being
Yeah.
around people that I grew up with.
the bachelor party, the wedding.
The bachelor party and creating new moments, you know what I'm saying, with people that I've known for a long period of time, but haven't had the chance to see that much in the past years just because of where life has taken us. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's always a good thing. And your birthday is definitely a good example of that because usually every year
people hadn't seen each other in like a year.
right.
And it's like,
People from other cliques, and we all cross over to each other mutually, but people from all different cliques will get together just to come
Yeah.
and celebrate the Jacob Venus.
because they're
So
all part of
if-
my clique. I
Definitely.
got a pretty big clique.
There you
Nobody
go.
Fucking with it.
And we fuck with who you fuck with for the most part. So, with that being said,
Yep.
happy belated birthday to you.
Appreciate
Sounds like you had a good
Boom.
time.
For another one. To another one. Trying to take a shot. Boom.
Oh God, that's all,
it.
y'all.
Oh, yeah, you can finish
What do
it.
you mean?
Me?
You too.
You
It's your
too.
birthday weekend, cuh.
Birthday week.
That shit's almost over, is it not?
Technically,
It
still
is.
his birthday weekend. Your birthday weekend is, in my opinion,
After your birthday?
after your birthday, right?
It
Not
depends.
before,
I guess it depends.
because you're celebrating that you're 26. If you're celebrating it before, you're not 26 yet. You're celebrating
it's
it after.
solely
You're
for me,
still
huh?
celebration of 26.
No, I'm just gonna fucking.
Half it.
Yeah. Hold on. Get this going. But, you know.
There you go, Jordan. No man left behind.
Here we go. To another one.
Oh,
To many, many more for all of us.
Yes, sir, Steve.
Good old Terramana. This shit's not actually too bad.
It's not, but
It's not good either.
You don't like tequila though? I
A
like
little warm.
tequila.
I do, but Terramana gives me a headache or
My
something.
mom
for
gave
some
me
reason.
some all-mint
Sorry to-
tequila from Mexico.
I fuck with you,
Dwayne.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson, my guy, superstar.
Casamigos does the same though.
So maybe it is
I
tequila.
mean, tequila
not
is
to
just
shit on your
not
brain.
that good warm.
Terramana tastes good going down, though. I will say that.
It tastes better
Pause.
chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything, anything does.
Yeah, alcohol warm versus.
Ah,
you know,
shit, 'cause
chilled
it's already
is-
gonna warm me up anyway. So,
It's true.
but all right. Well, let's get into it. More COVID, never ends.
Never.
Another year.
Never.
We're 2 years into this almost, into COVID times. March is gonna be 2 years, and we're still dealing with this shit.
we're dealing with all sorts of
You
shit.
feel like you deal with it directly?
We all deal with it directly.
I mean, I
What do
feel
you
like
mean?
Does it affect your everyday life? Like,
I mean, it didn't really affect my everyday life.
That's what I'm
when it
saying.
happened, no. But I mean, I guess at this point, yeah, in a sense, because
you guys are part of them Vax boys.
vaccinated. I've kind of had not issues with my family, but we've had kind of
debates.
disagreements on some shit, and what should be done, how it should be done, views on shit, this and that. So I guess in that sense, it's kind of affected me. But like, I guess in like my everyday overall life, not really. But I mean, just seeing how the mandates are being put out there, like what's happening in New York with all the nurses, the NBA, how it's a requirement pretty much. If you don't get vaccinated, then you're not playing.
Right.
So I mean, like, it's kind of the way that it's turning and the way that things are going from when it started to how it is now. It's interesting to see how it's played out, and how politicized it's been, and how now it really is. Like, at first it was kind of like a whole bunch of people were skeptical about a lot of shit and this, that, whatever, and it was just like the mass of people were skeptical. But now it's like there's a clear line now. Like, you're either on one side or you're on the other, and like you can't really, like, this has also become a topic of like there's no middle ground, there's no gray area. Like, you either are gonna get vaccinated and you're the most righteous person in the world, or if you don't get vaccinated, then you're part of the problem and you're a sack of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is interesting. And as speaking
that's how people make it play out.
I
don't believe that, but that's
people's views and beliefs about certain things. Like, one of the memes that I saw, my bad.
No, go ahead, finish your point.
It was just that, like, the vaccinated versus unvaccinated, the groups are worse than the Bloods and the Crips. Like, it was just funny that, like, people are going at it like that for real. Like, people see it as, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, like the people that are vaccinated, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, oh my God, you're doing such wrong. It was funny as shit to see.
They pulling up and spraying too. They on the wrong turn.
This shit was
It's the
hilarious.
vaccinated side, homie.
Throwing back.
You better go back. You wearing a
Pew pew pew. Little needles. Just
you ain't
flying.
Pfizer, homie.
So that shit was pretty funny to see.
That was ill. But I was gonna say
That was ill.
I was gonna say as somebody that it's an interesting situation, 100%. As somebody that is around it directly all the time, because I work in the ER, so I'm around patients that have it all the time. Not only that, I'm around workers who are dealing with it directly, so I hear their frustration, and I'm hearing frustration from nurses who have worked in the industry for 10, 15 years to doctors who have been around for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's, it's split down the middle. You have your people that are pro-vaccine, and you have your people that don't really believe in it, and they feel like what they can do health-wise to make sure they keep their immune system at a certain level is enough to keep going through life, because that's what they've been doing their whole life.
But like, you would think that'd be like, I don't know, like a little bit more acceptable, like a little bit more like, all right, like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're keeping healthy, like you're kind of, not out here fucking just weakening your immune system. Like, you're staying
that
healthy.
solution.
Exactly. Like,
would
yeah,
be more
you would,
acceptable.
yeah, but like, it's just getting to the point where it's like.
Right.
And like I really don't, like, at this point I don't really engage in conversations like that anymore, but I'll listen to people that do and shit like that, and it's wild how like people really think that you are just like a shitbag, like dumbass, stupid because you don't want to get vaccinated or anything, and they look at you like you are like lower than them,
and that's what makes it so.
Both sides, though.
But that's what makes it so interesting on a healthcare professional perspective, because you have people who are very knowledgeable with degrees in high status positions that don't believe in it. Now they're being deemed a certain way, and these are people of stature. You know what I'm saying? So like the divide on all sides, it's deep, it goes pretty high. Like even the people who are the most knowledgeable in the healthcare professionals, there's still uneasiness on a certain
side. But that
side.
even goes to show you that like even medicine isn't like an exact science. Like none of this shit is exact. So like that's why it's kind of like
the only thing that is exact is proven factual evidence, and that takes time to build. And something like this is
we're only we're almost 2 years in. So it's it's I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It's just really weird how. And I'm not very political at all. I don't lean one way or the other. I just, kind of want shit to, get somebody in there that's going to get the job done, do it right, and let's fucking move on. But, like, it is weird how much, like...
COVID played a role.
I think
COVID played a role, but, like, how much, like, it is being pushed as far as, like...
Right.
The left, like, really, like, really like cracking down on shit, and like people are losing their jobs, and they're like, well, if you don't get this, you are gone, you are fired, like that is it. And like to the healthcare workers that were like going through all that shit during COVID,
it's a smack in the
and
face.
Exactly, it's like
That's
they were being praised as heroes, and like you're doing this, doing that, and you're the shit. And now like, well,
how quickly that changed.
You know, here's the boot. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Pretty much, and
New
it's
York
just kind of
mandates
like,
are fucking crazy.
Well, did you see what happened in California with the 12 to?
I saw that, but I didn't.
15, I believe, was the age group.
Yeah, explain that.
So basically, California is the first, or is it LA is the first city to go through? It's either California or the city of LA is the first ones to go through with the mandate that kids 12 through 15 have to be vaccinated in order to attend school.
Dumb as fuck.
And
they did it like that with tetanus, though.
They did.
I mean, it's not like this is not something that hasn't been happening before. It's just something that hasn't been researched for a long period of time that we know nothing about. And now it's being mandated that you have to do this to be accepted in school, work, and it almost feels like the society at a certain point.
Yeah. But that's the part that's weird. That's the part that seems a little like fishy. Like it seems like there's people pulling behind the strings behind the scenes and shit like that, talking about political parties and shit like that, like left and right. Like it just seems like there's more to it than just like, if you don't get vaccinated, then you're this. If you are vaccinated, then you're that. Like it seems like there's like the way that is being pushed. Like even at like I went to Halloween Horror Nights last night. Like there's you know how like in movies and like futuristic movies, like you hear like the intercom like, please maintain this, and like it was like that at the parks, and I'm over here like, wow, this is it's weird. Like that was probably more scary, like more eerie than the actual
like Iron
Halloween.
Giant.
Yeah, it was more eerie than Halloween Horror Nights because that shit fucking sucked. Halloween Horror Nights was terrible, but like it's just like little things.
Like
no, it just wasn't. No, it just wasn't scary at all. It was very like it seemed like they didn't try to like after like I don't know, just very like last minute put together type shit. Like nothing was really, you know, the scare zones were shitty, whatever. But I mean, it's, you know, that's besides the point. But it's just like, you know, little things like that where it's just like now you have like these big like corporate entities that are really pushing it, and like, you know, do they, you know, and you know when you start looking at some of them, like where do they fall in line politically and who are they lining up with, you can kind of tell like, you know, what kind of agenda. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the overall thing that is really starting to bother people and get at them is the freedom of choice thing. Like now it's becoming something that
it's becoming a moral thing.
It's becoming a moral thing. Like you don't have freedom to think or make your own decision.
I guess a moral thing, but
I mean that's what they've made it out to be.
It's just crazy that the country we live in, that, you know, that is brought up on freedoms and all this, is trying to mandate you to do things.
But we've talked about that. How much freedom is there really? Like there is
correct.
Freedom.
I mean, there's always going to be that, you know, if where there's freedoms, there'll be people taking away freedoms as well. But the fact that, like I said, this is a country of free, you know, we were talking about free will, for instance.
Right.
We have a lot of choice in what we are able to do. Like we have the choice to do this or to do that. Voting is like that. A lot
more than most countries, especially communist countries.
Correct. Voting is like that. I mean, think about just all the choices you eat. You have the choice to go eat whatever you want.
True.
We're not forced to eat anything.
Right.
So then the fact that, especially in New York, doing this mandate with their healthcare workers, like those are the people that were on the front lines.
They're doing that mandate here too. They already did it in a lot of facilities across the nation.
And I mean, they're trying to, but I'm just saying, New York is like on next level shit. They got to the
point that they might have to call in the National Guard for that shit.
That shit's wild.
Like, you know, it's people that haven't been in the field for 10, 15 plus years.
Yeah. So they're behind. They're behind on the time.
So it's like that shit is getting a little.
It's getting weird.
Spooky.
It is weird.
Shit is getting a little spooky.
Weird. But I mean, people on the podcast, they already know how I feel about this.
I mean, but even
these are the vaccinated boys.
So how do you feel about
free guy over here?
The people who have never seen the show. Let them give them a brief synopsis. You don't. You keep it short.
About why I don't have it.
You don't believe in the vaccine.
Yeah, I just don't believe in it. I mean,
you don't believe in the vaccine, or you?
Not at all.
Period.
I feel like if you were gonna get sick, I mean, this is just my personal opinion, my beliefs. You know, I'm not pushing this on anybody. If you're gonna get vaccinated, by all means. If you feel like that's right for you and your family, do it.
But what's your idea?
If you feel like that's gonna be healthy for you, do it.
What's your idea of the purpose of the vaccine?
I mean, hopefully the real purpose is to protect people and help people.
What do you think?
I personally can give a fucking shit about it because I think I'm healthy and I'll protect people, you know, the common ways you would protect people and the common ways you wouldn't get sick.
Right.
You know, social distance yourself, wash your hands regularly.
That's your countermeasure. I'm asking, what do you think the purpose of the vaccine is? Not what you would do to counter.
I mean, a vaccine, I'm guessing, is to prevent said disease, correct?
But that's not what the vaccine is made to do. It's
Well,
to protect you from
from worst effects of the disease?
From the worst effects, from dying from disease, basically.
And
from
me
it being
personally,
fatal.
I don't think I would. I don't fall
Doesn't
into
stop
the
you from getting
categories.
it.
Exactly. But a vaccine doesn't stop you from getting it. Neither does me doing the shit I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Nothing is for sure in this world of, oh, it can stop that. So it's like, it's basically, you know, just the timing.
Prevent.
It's the timing
Not stop.
with it. If it was like, you know, COVID's been around since our entire life, we wouldn't know any different. A
True.
vaccine wouldn't be anything crazy to us because that's just, we don't know any different.
Correct.
But the fact that
So fast forward
I'm
15 years from
26
now.
years old now,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen this play out in the last year and a half, 2 years, it's kind of like, that's kind of weird that they made the fucking vaccine so fast.
Right.
That was already kind of like, how the hell could that be? And then the
Is
fact that it
technology
doesn't,
not that advanced?
it is pretty advanced, but it still doesn't guarantee anything.
It is advanced, but the thing with
There's no test behind
exactly,
it though.
like a lot of
It's
these,
so-
they have
it's so
clinical
new.
trials and shit
It's
like
so
that.
new.
And like there wasn't
True.
a lot of clinical trials behind this one because it was at
Right.
such like they were trying to get it out.
And-
so
And I agree.
quickly.
That's what I was saying. There's not a lot of
correct
evidence over
and
a long
everyone
period of time.
and everyone, for instance, just like COVID, the vaccine as well. Everyone has different effects to COVID. For instance, some people lose their smell, some people lose their taste, some people are fucking bedridden for 2 weeks. It
True.
affects everyone differently,
Correct.
as well as the vaccine affects everyone differently.
Correct.
Some people feel it; they might, have a sore arm for a day and they're perfectly fine. Some people, for instance, they'll get fucking sick or catch COVID right after it because their body got weaker.
You got sick?
I got sick for like a
Second
day.
dose?
Yeah, on the second dose. I
Second
got
dose
sick.
didn't do nothing to me.
I only felt sick for a day, but like I was like fatigued and like kind of like not out of breath, but like it's kind of hard for me to catch my breath for like a week after that.
Yeah.
For instance, I only bring this up because both my parents are vaccinated. My dad got vaccinated, got his first shot, got COVID the day after.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was perfectly healthy all this way up. He got vaccinated, got sick the day after.
Right.
Then he was fucking, dealing with that 2
But
weeks, 3 weeks
sometimes
later.
it's like
Went and got his second shot, was sick again.
people can be conspiracy
It takes
theorists.
everybody, it affects everyone differently. And that being my father makes me a little more irritable about it just because I feel like we would have similar DNA, similar traits, that it's like if he got sick, because my dad doesn't usually get sick like that, neither do I. So the fact that he went through it like that, I was like, I probably won't get it then.
Right.
Just because, I work in construction. There's going to be a lot worse shit that I deal with in a day that could kill me before COVID, honestly.
Right. But there's a lot of ironies in there.
Well, I'm not saying I'm
ironies
not
aren't
saying I'm
factual.
perfect, and I'm not
No.
saying my reasoning is that
Right.
well or thought out. It's just
Right.
what I believe in.
Right. But I mean,
For
like,
instance, everyone is different. Like some people watching this are going to be like, "Fuck Jacob for not getting vaccinated."
but we
But
could all
fuck
feel like,
you
I
because
mean,
I don't want to. It's back and forth.
your dad got the vaccine one day, the next day he gets COVID. Can we say for sure that it was a vaccine that got him COVID, or it just timed out like that? My car was in the shop for a week. When I got it back, now I need to get brakes. Did they do something in the shop, or did I just put wear and tear on my
you
brakes?
could
I
try
need
to
get the brakes
compare
now.
and shit like that.
I mean,
But for instance, if he was healthy for months before the shot, right?
Right.
He's a pretty active guy, plays softball all the time, whatever. Pretty healthy guy. Eats healthy, at least tries to. Gets perfectly fine, shows up at work at 6 a.m. every day of his fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a vaccine, gets COVID that same day or
well,
day
with
after.
the vaccine, what a vaccine is, they inject you with the disease
Correct.
so you can build up antibodies. So that's why you get sick from it. I
But
mean,
Exactly.
what were his symptoms?
He had fucking pretty much all symptoms.
He was
had
really sick?
really bad cough.
Okay.
He thought that shit was going to take him out damn near.
Wow.
And like I said, my
He's
dad
older.
is older, so I understand why he did it because he wants to be able to travel without the hassle and shit. But what's funny is my dad hates masks. He would never want to wear a mask, so he's not going to travel because they force you to wear a mask.
on the planes, yeah. I mean, I don't
He's
know.
like, I got vaccinated, I can't even travel still. What the fuck?
I mean, he can. You just got to put on the mask.
Yeah, he's a stubborn bastard. He's a stubborn old bastard. So
But I don't know. Like, it is weird. Like, at some point, there's a fine
just
line
seems too
between
forced to me.
conspiracy and, like, reality. Like, there is some things that is fishy about this. Like, regardless of what side
Right.
you land on, there's some shit that is a little weird about it, that's a little off, that's like, I don't know, like, why is it that you are pushing this so fucking hard? Like, why is it that you're being so fucking extreme about this shit? Like, it gets a little weird because, like, I mean, to kind of if you got two people, if you have kids or whatever, and something bad happened, they broke something or whatever, and one kid is really like, no, like they fucking did it, they really fucking did it, this and that. Like it's gonna be a little like, if you didn't do anything, then why are you fucking stressing? Like, why are you fucking, if you're not in the wrong or doing something, like, so to me, it kind of seems like there's a little bit like too much forcefulness of it. There's a little bit too much of like
Correct.
pushing it a little too much to the point where it's like, well, like, why is it that you're pushing it this hard? Now again, like I got vaccinated. Like if you want to go do it. But I've been on record of saying like I don't feel like if you don't fall into a high risk category, I don't really feel like you need to get it.
Right. My thing is like it's gotten so bad to the point that you can't even have an opinion about it. Like in the sense of being unsure. Like, did you see the Nicki Minaj thing?
Yeah.
Like
everybody was fucking roasting on her ass.
But in her tweet, though, if you clearly read it, she's like, I'm not saying that I'm opposed to getting it. I'm just not getting it for the Met Gala. I haven't done my due diligence, all my research yet to be completely convinced if I want to do it. Yeah. I'm not against it. I'm just not for it yet. And they fucking took her head off. Like,
well, I mean, any athlete that doesn't want to get it now, like every sports talks radio, every fucking talking head will fucking like just get it, like get it. Like if you,
and really I don't agree with that either. But that's somebody picking a side at that point. What I don't get is I'm unsure. I'm not saying, hey, I'm just not knowledgeable enough yet. Maybe I will get it one day, but give me a chance. Like, we're not even giving people a chance to
but the thing that really
be comfortable and have a general understanding of what's going on. The thing that makes
me the most skeptical is that like these big like media platforms are all leaning one way, and you have all the talking heads leaning one way. Yeah. And it's very rare in any type, whether it is, music media, sports media, fucking entertainment media, that you have everybody leaning one way. Like the purpose of most of these shows are to have debate and so it's like when you have all these talking heads leaning one way and like it just kind of like, I don't know, it just, again, it might be a little it's a little conspiracy theories, but it's like it's kind of weird to see everybody kind of like, especially when it's like big media platforms, big media outlets leaning one way, like go get vaccinated, go do it, like, why not go do it, like you're kind of silly if you don't do it, and like really kind of like saying do it without saying like go do it, or what happened?
Nah.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing too. And I was gonna kind of touch on that after, but finish your point.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. But like, I mean, go ahead.
But it could be that there is so much of all the big media platforms leaning one way that it'll make you say, well, why are they going so hard for it? And it can also make somebody else say, well, shit, if they're all saying it, then it must be something. There must be some truth in this.
And the thing is that
they want people to be safe.
Yeah, in all reality, it's probably somewhere in the middle. It's probably somewhere that, it's
right. But those are both perspectives.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But and neither of them are wrong. And I think that's where people are like taking it too far. Because you're not wrong for feeling how you're feeling. If you're unsure about things, sure, you have all the reason in the world to be unsure about it. And then if you feel like that is the right thing to do to move forward in life, then that's your choice. There's nothing wrong with that.
But the one thing that I will say is that like the people who are like, if you don't get vaccinated, like you're keeping people unsafe and shit. But like if you're vaccinated, you get vaccinated, there's booster shots now, this, that, whatever. And then like if you are vaccinated, you can still get COVID. So like when they're pushing like, well, if you're not vaccinated, then you're not keeping people safe. You're not, you're part of the problem and shit like that. But if you are vaccinated, then what is the big worry? That is my thing. Like, if you are vaccinated and you're taking your proper precautions, like if I were to get a flu shot and you didn't, I'm not going to not be around you or like not be like, oh, yeah, like get the fuck away from me because like you don't have a flu shot. Like I have a flu shot. I've protected myself. I've taken the measures. Like,
but it goes back to what you said earlier. We don't know no better.
Correct. And it's
when it comes to the flu shot, it's something that's just been engraved.
Been around for so long.
It's been ingrained into our society.
And that's the same way with what you were saying.
And I've never gotten a flu shot before. So that's like,
and it's never been a problem.
No.
For most places.
And that's what people are like, that gray area of, or that not knowing what they want to do yet, where it's being just bashed upon them, is because, like, for instance, like Eric said, if you have the vaccine versus not having the vaccine, you protected yourself. Why are you so angry that I'm not protecting myself? This is myself. Right. Like people are like so worried about, oh, but you're not protecting. You did what you needed to do to protect you. This is what I believe is going to protect me, not doing it.
Right.
So like I feel like people are just going too far, balls to the wall, one way like you have to do this.
You ever been driving on the road, and I keep on using cars. You ever been driving on the road and drive real crazy, and your mom is like,
Clearly.
stop driving crazy.
Clearly, Jordan.
Mom, I got this. Well, it's not you I'm worried about. It's other people.
Yes, I understand that, but I don't know. I don't use like the reference the same way.
But
I don't believe that's the same
you're
thing.
not going to be able to.
I don't
stop
believe cars
everything,
and inevitability with cars and COVID correlate.
I mean, it's an analogy.
It's
just
just
an
an analogy.
analogy.
I don't think
I'm
it
not
correlates
trying to-
well.
Exact correlation, but like that's. I mean, to that point,
The severity of the two things are way different. I hope people know that.
Yeah, you could, but you could. I mean, there's nothing. You said it. You just said it. Like, there's nothing in this world that is 100% foolproof. Like, you could be the best driver in the world, check your mirrors, fucking use your blinker all the time.
Still get hit by a semi.
But you fucking go run a green light, someone runs a red light, T-bones you, you're fucked.
Right.
I mean, the same thing with COVID, the same thing with anything. So it's like, again, like, have your belief and shit, but like when it gets to the point where it's like you're fucking like shunning people out and like labeling them as a certain, like, you're an idiot, you're stupid because you don't do this, or there's all this fucking evidence out there, but it's like there's a decent amount of evidence out there that would suggest that you do not need to get a vaccine.
Correct.
Right.
There's a decent amount of evidence that would suggest that there's other ways to, just like there's other ways to cure a headache. Some people might take aspirin. Some people I just drink water sometimes and take a nap and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I take aspirin sometimes. Sometimes I'll just take it. So like there's different ways and different means
to do a lot of things.
Because essentially, again, at the end of the day, the vaccine is more of a preventative more than anything.
Right.
Well, if you're preventing it in other ways, then like,
you're not adding to the problem at that point.
Exactly. So it's like that's where it's kind of.
But they're not deeming your ways acceptable.
Exactly.
Or what's the word I'm looking for? They don't think the way that you're going to do it is going to be successful in a sense.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
but it's also different for like each person. I mean, for instance,
but then again, do they have the proof that it's going to work for what they're doing?
There's people that are unvaccinated also that bash people that are vaccinated.
Yeah.
And there's people unvaccinated that bash. And I feel like it needs to be more of just an understanding. Like, it's about safety. I get that. But it's also about who we are as Americans and who we are just as human beings. Like, we're going to do what we think in our best interest will looks out for us and our family. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, me personally, like I said, my parents are vaccinated. They're a little older. So, by all means, they wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. Me and my sisters are not. We're younger. We do not feel like we don't feel the need for it.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty healthy guy. I go to the gym, depends on the week. Usually like 5 times a week, but depends on the week. And I feel, I work a physical labor job. Like, I'm always active, always moving. Like I say, my immune system is pretty strong.
And it's more about what you put in your body.
I don't really get sick that often. I get sick maybe once a year, and that's maybe.
Yeah,
but if it does hit me, it hits me like a
it's
ton
just
of
more
bricks.
about what you put in your body, like the type of foods that you're eating, the type your vitamins and shit like that, and rest, sleeping. People don't take that into consideration of like how important sleep is.
I had
like,
a solid nap today.
So it's like things like that are, in my opinion, if you're already in good health, like, so if you're young, if you're not overweight, if you don't have like already existing pre-existing conditions, then those simple things like that do boost your immune system.
Right.
So it's like, again, I don't know. It's just when people just start pushing and being too extreme about one thing. That's like with anything. That's when I start getting, I start raising eyebrows and like.
That's
what made you go through the decision of getting vaccinated?
Oh, I mean, I've already said that. It's
family pressure.
My family put pressure on me, and I mean, at the end of the day, like,
how do you feel about that?
They mandated him.
I mean, it's my family.
Literally.
Like, I mean,
they kind of did actually.
I would do anything for them. So it's like,
right.
if that's what they wanted me to do, and it was just gonna make shit a lot easier, because if not, like, one, I would not hear the end of that shit from my mom, from my grandparents, from my dad, from my sisters, because everybody on my mom's side of the family is vaccinated. Most of the people on my dad's side of the family are vaccinated, so I would not hear the fucking end of it.
Okay.
And there's just certain things right now that is going on in my family that I just, I want to go see certain people. I want to go do certain things, and
that was one of the bigger pushes.
Yeah, it was gonna stop me. Like, they wouldn't have felt comfortable me going around if I wasn't vaccinated and shit like that. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like,
right.
No big deal. Like,
so
I don't care.
Essentially, you did it for other people.
Yeah, right. But it's like, I still have my beliefs. Like, I don't feel like I needed it.
Right.
I don't feel like it was something that, like, I was gonna need to,
and you think
protect certain people or whatever. But there's certain things, like I said, that is going on that I want, that will allow me, that they just wouldn't feel comfortable if I was going around unvaccinated. And I want to see certain people and shit like that. So,
right.
I did it and no big deal. I felt sick for a day. I don't think that I'm any smarter than anybody else or higher than anybody else because I took it. I wouldn't have thought that I was less than somebody if I didn't take it. It's just, man, again, I'm young. I work out. I watch what I put in my body for the most part. Like, I take the steps that I need to for the category that I fall in that I would have felt comfortable either way if I would have gotten it or not.
Right.
I had gotten tested 3 times or 2 times before. One time for antibodies that came up negative. And that's when COVID was first, it was that summer.
Right.
And then one time before I went to go visit my sister. Both times came up negative. I've been in contact 3 times with people that tested positive for COVID since I've gotten the vaccine.
Right.
Each time came up negative.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it's because of the vaccine that I came up negative or because I just have a strong immune system and I'm young and I'm healthy and I work out and those things. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting it and you are taking measures to prevent yourself from getting it, whether it is a vaccine or more natural ways, then that's where it's like, who gives a fuck?
Right. But you had your personal beliefs about it and you looked outside of that because of other people and people you love.
Yeah.
So is that kind of not like the overall message of what's kind of being preached in a sense?
For sure, but I'm also not
I think it's too forced though.
No, I agree with that, but
that's my issue with it. It's that it is like extremely forced.
It's not the message; it's how it's being delivered.
Exactly.
That's the exact issue.
And it seems like now it's like I said, politics is taking advantage of it and making it politicized and labeling people now. And if you don't do this, then you're part of the issue. And now
you're un-American or you don't want to
exactly
you're not trying to help.
Now
people.
You're losing your jobs now. Like this, it's just like getting too extreme for me to not think that there's something up, that there's not something above us, that they're pulling strings behind the scenes. Fucking propaganda type shit, like pushing a certain message out to these ESPNs, to these, major music platforms and shit like that is like, well, push this message or,
shut the lights off.
Exactly. Some shit like that. You might get blackballed or some shit like that. Because if you look at any of these, Fox Sports is kind of, they're a little bit more, you can say what you want and they're not going to shut you out. But definitely ESPN is like, you don't hear anybody go against the vaccine. None of these talking heads, none of them is like, so it's like, man, I don't know. It's just weird.
They were basically pretty much told, like, you don't have an opinion on this. This is what you're going to say about this. Because I don't feel like every person could have the exact same opinion.
That's what it seems like.
Especially
but even
like we were
NBA
saying.
players and Kyrie Irving, for as much as I bag on him and like rag on him about shit that doesn't want to get vaccinated for whatever reason. And that's fine. Like
Kyrie, Bradley Beal,
Jonathan Isaac.
Even
though he's not that good, but
he had said but what he said about it was
he's very intellectual.
The way but again, the delivery of it was like, how could you be mad at that? How could you say that he is a dumbass? Like, you cannot, because the way that he put that out and he put that message out was like, I feel how can you not respect it? How can you not respect it?
Some people were bashing Bradley because he wasn't as thought out on his message. He was like, I've had COVID. I lost my smell. That was it. I was perfectly fine. Why should I have to do this? I'm doing what I need to do to protect my family. So why should I be forced to do this? His message can come off to some people as arrogant or
me.
Yeah, correct. Jonathan thought his message was well thought out.
He hit on both sides.
Yeah. And that's how I feel like people could, if the message was delivered like that, it would resonate with more people.
Correct.
Because it's like I said, it's America. It's freedom of, we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Right. Like Jonathan Isaac, for instance, he's, a well-known Christian in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
His beliefs personally are with God, and he thinks that what he does for his family and what he prays about or what's going to do, be best for him. And I would prefer that than somebody telling you, oh, you're not going to be able to do this because you don't have the vaccine.
But even LeBron James came out and said, I got vaccinated for my reasons. Like, if you don't get vaccinated, no big deal. Correct. It's not like...
Which is another thing I think that's funny about the NBA's mandates, because the NBA's players union, they basically run the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not like other sports where they're being told what to do. The NBA players kind of have a big say in what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So it's funny that there are these mandates, and they're trying to say that, granted, it's arena to arena, because it kind of was taken out of the hands of just the players.
Yeah.
The arenas themselves, for instance, Andrew Wiggins not going to be able to play any fucking home game.
Yeah.
because he's he doesn't want to get vaccinated.
But how much are they really losing off of that?
They lose every game check.
I'm talking about like as a team. Like,
yeah.
Impact wise.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, personally, these people, like, and that's how strong some of these people's beliefs are.
And really, at the end of the day, though, like,
I mean, they're already millionaires, so they're not really that
I was
worried.
literally just about to say
it's
that.
Business.
Like, I was
cutting checks.
Correct.
We got to go with whatever is going to cut the check.
Yeah.
I was about to say that, though. It's like, really, at the end of the day, if these NBA players and these athletes, well, more NBA players at this point, because they're like the mandate's there. But like, if you're good with your money, like, and you feel that strongly about it, then like losing game checks at this point, like you should be able to retire. Like,
correct. Kyrie, Bradley, they feel that way.
Yeah,
they don't really. They have enough money,
and especially a guy like Kyrie Irving who has different streams of income and shit like that. That he's not completely reliant on his NBA money. Like,
but also they bash Kyrie for
a lot of things. The NBA is a
catalyst
for all of that.
For sure,
but they bash Kyrie for a lot of things, but for being so outspoken and being so this or
he's
so that. But he is a little out there.
They get on him for being an individual at the end.
He
of the
does
day.
a lot for not only just the local communities, but he does a lot for the world. Like,
he does.
You saw what he did for the WNBA when they had like the little players being, not being able to play or not being paid.
He's huge.
What
with
he
the
did, what he did in like Pakistan, bringing water and stuff. He does a lot more than just play basketball. So at the end of the day, his beliefs are fuck basketball. You don't want to make me get this. I don't want it. Right. Like I'm gonna do stuff for the world.
And it's been pretty documented, like you said, that like basketball is not like at this point. Yeah. It's not his like. It's a passion, but it's not like a top priority for him. Like it seems like he is willing and able to let it go at any point.
Yeah, he cares more. I feel honestly, personally, at least, that he cares more about the people of the world and the world than just him.
As you should.
Playing basketball. I feel
like that's what more people should have that mindset.
Correct. And I feel like it's more, that's his morals, his moral compass is in a good place of I'm doing this for these people. Like, what? I'm not going to be getting paid.
You think Bean passing away had something to do with that? Kind of how it affected his outlook?
No.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm sure it definitely hit
all
differently.
that beautiful legacy, everything he built in his career to pass away that way.
Well, okay, so yeah, they probably did have, but I don't like some type of impact, but I don't think it had like that much of a major impact. I think he was already doing that shit. It might have like fast tracked it a little bit, but he was already like on that path of just
or put him in more of that mental of like, oh, this is all right. I already know what I'm gonna do now. Yeah. Like he already had the idea.
This
but
isn't
then it
forever
happened.
type of thing, and I mean that would be a tough example of that.
For sure. I mean that's a good point. That's a good point, but. Who knows, man? Like, it seems like we're going to be dealing with this shit for a while longer. It doesn't seem like...
It's possible. Like you said in episodes past, it's probably going to go on forever. Like, I don't see COVID going away anytime soon. It'll probably be like the flu. They're going to be talking about it for years. It'll be an every year thing. It might be COVID season.
But even with that, like
flu season.
But that shit comes and goes. It dies down. It's a season. It comes and goes with the years and shit like that. And, for as much as, people are stupid. We have learned. People adapt. People learn. People can be trained to think different ways and adapt to their environment and adapt to different things. So we're gonna have to at some point, whatever side you fall on, whether you get vaccinated, you're not, whether you think you're dumb if you get vaccinated, you're dumb if you don't. Like at some point, like we're all gonna come together, like figure out a solution to, figure out how to live with this the best way we can, and then fucking go from there.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be adopted into our way of living because it already kind of has been. Yeah. But I think it'll be something that just be a part of how we live.
And really, in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't even been 2 years yet. So
right.
It's like
it's fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we've said this plenty of times. Even before you were vaccinated, you're like, I'm not opposed to one day. I'm not just because I believe I don't want to get vaccinated. Not saying I never will.
Yeah.
If it, like I said before, if it helps me or if it's gonna be mandated so much that I have to get it to be able to travel, I like to travel. I probably would get it. But just me personally in this, like, why are you not doing it
right
yet?
Now. And that's
because I don't feel any adequate. There's no, there's no reason for me to get it at this point.
And that's what I was saying. Like at first, it's like I don't feel the need to, but when I do feel the need to get vaccinated, I will go do it.
And that's what Nicki Minaj said.
The need came up, and I went and got it, and that was that. And if people want to look at me in a certain light, then that's on them. But like at the end of the day, like if you really look at it, my beliefs don't really match up with getting vaccinated, but I still got it anyway. So that's why I think it's so dumb to fucking label somebody one way because they didn't get vaccinated or label someone one way because they did, because my beliefs and getting vaccinated don't line up.
Yeah, they don't correlate.
But, fuck it. Like, I got it. No big fucking deal. Like, and I make this joke all the time. Like, if we fucking, yeah, exactly. If we all get fucked up, some type of fucking, they do put a microchip in us or we all become zombies. It's like, well, my whole family, we're all in it together. So it's like, we're just a family of zombies or whatever the fuck it is.
You know what scares me about it the most? Y'all have seen Kingsman, right? The movie Kingsman?
Where they all start fucking each other up and shit in the the church.
Right. But yeah, exactly that. When he basically puts chips in them. But the people that he can't, he puts chips in people so they can't get affected by it. Mm-hmm. But they put a signal on the cell phone. So everybody that has that cell phone go crazy. So imagine if they put some type of like,
we won't know until it's too late.
They use it against
us.
They
put
Jacob, you'll be outnumbered in this room.
That is true.
3-1. Still fucking y'all up.
That is true.
This mic's coming off.
But that's some super conspiracy thing.
That would be crazy as fuck, though.
I don't think, and I pray to God it does not go that deep.
I remember the scene of Kingston. Like, that would be intense.
I hope not, but you never know. You never know nowadays. I mean, we were talking about it a little last week with the anti-aging shit and just the way that technology moves nowadays. Like, we won't know until it's too late, and then we'll all be fucked anyway. So, that's why you just got to enjoy life.
Then they got fucking
go with
the flow. People like up there showing off that they're getting it, having Biden up there and shit. Like, he's got fucking 7 more years left, maybe. Who gives a fuck?
If that.
I take that back, Biden.
He's old.
If that.
He's
old as fuck. Good old Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe do be sleeping up there. He's a funny guy.
Some of his fucking, the snippets that they take from his press conferences and shit are fucking hilarious, where he's like tripping over his words and shit.
They do that to everybody.
The one where it's like 7 billion trillion.
They did it to Trump.
They did. All of that shit was funny.
They're just a president. Well, not to be
president's
political.
A walking meme nowadays.
That. Unfortunately, but a president is just
a talking head.
Basically,
figure,
it's just the face to put a blame to. It's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes that controls the government.
No shit.
It's not necessarily the president doing that much. I mean, yeah, he's got a say in it, but he's technically just the face to blame.
That is shitty though. That presidents are just walking memes nowadays. That goes to show you how far we've come. That's sarcasm if you didn't pick up on that. But guess we can finish this up with some NBA. Preseason starts this weekend, right? It started this weekend?
Yeah, the Lakers played last night or today. One of the two.
They played today.
I mean, fuck.
How do you feel about that Lakers team? You feel like they're built to win?
Ah, man.
They built Ford tough?
I don't know, man.
Or they built like an old box Chevy with their old asses.
I mean,
they have the knowledge.
If anybody can bring it together, LeBron James is the guy that can bring it together.
There you go.
Fucking make it go and get a chip off of it, because he's done it with worse. Like, this is not the least talented team he's been on. They're just old as fuck.
Last time he tried to do this was in Cleveland.
Yeah, and he had the fucking greatest fucking postseason in NBA history.
D Rose was also on that team.
That shit was wild. I'll never forget that shit. Watching that fucking postseason run, like, it was every night. Every night. You guys
talk about two different teams.
Insane. But anyways,
the Lakers talking about two different teams completely.
Whatever. No, we're not.
The finals run he went on. That's what you're talking about. The last one
in Cleveland.
The finals run he went on.
Yeah.
That's not the same team as when D Wade had been traded at that point.
That was the same team though.
Same year.
He had been traded at that point.
But he didn't.
But they tried it, and it wasn't working. Yeah. And then they got rid of him.
And they were still a shitty team, and he still went on a fantastic run. And
the team that you were saying,
it was
the players weren't there anymore.
The same year.
I'm just saying that some of the players were not there anymore.
No shit, but it was still the same team in the same year.
It's not necessarily the
they
same
weren't
team
there
at
because
that point,
it didn't
though.
work. You're getting to my point.
They're not the same team.
The
at
same
that
team.
point.
The Cleveland
when the
Cavaliers
players are gone.
The Cleveland Cavaliers of 2018.
Yeah,
that is the team that went to the finals.
Team that was constructed.
As soon as I said D Wade gone, he got salty. It turned into something else. It's okay.
All right, whatever.
He was over for him at that point.
Never mind.
We know
it was over for him a while before that.
Okay,
we won't get into that.
That's extensive. That'd be an extensive type of.
But
conversation.
I mean, if anybody can bring that together, I think LeBron James is the guy to do it. He definitely AD has to step up. He has to be the number one offensive option, and Russell Westbrook has to carry a lot of the load during the regular season and not fuck up in the postseason. And with that, then, they could go all the way and win. But those are two ifs. Anthony Davis looked like shit last year. He looked like he didn't want to be out there.
Boom.
He looked like he didn't want to be out there. He didn't really and he was coming off
The
injury
whole year
too.
post injury.
The whole year to me. I mean, he didn't come out. I mean, and granted, they were 70 days off or removed from winning a championship, and that was the shortest off season. So like, there's different factors. Now they had a whole off season. I saw that Anthony Davis said, or I think it was Rondo that said that he's been putting on weight, and he looks like he's put the work in with his body in the off
18
season.
push-ups.
Yeah, that was funny. But so I mean, maybe this might be their year. I always find it kind of hard to bet against LeBron James, but this is also in his
Tom Brady effect.
19th year, 18th,
19th
year.
19th year.
So it's like, and I feel like last year was the first time that we kind of saw signs of him slowing down. But again, there was the short off season.
Up until the injury, he was top 2 in MVP voting.
But how often have we seen him get hurt?
That's true.
And he got hurt his first year in LA too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you're
right about that.
Like I said, I find it hard to bet against LeBron James, but
age catches up to you.
Another
it gets
guy,
everybody.
Another
Father
guy
Time's undefeated.
100%. Another guy
never lost.
Another guy is fucking hate you guys. I said another guy 5 times. Another guy in his 19th year, Carmelo Anthony, who's also on that team. You don't think he makes any impact?
I mean, I think he'll make
mid-range
some type
killer. What you talking about?
But what really, like in reality,
isolation killer?
What type of impact?
Anywhere
you
really
want
it on the floor?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
At a certain point.
At one point in his career, yes. Not at this point.
If he's coming off the bench and giving you 12 to 15 points, like that's
effective.
Is he going to give that much?
He was doing it in Portland.
What are you talking about?
He's another year older.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
You act like he hasn't been working out and putting in the work for the last fucking 19.
Yeah, he has
seasons.
Not 19 seasons. The last 5 seasons when he started to realize that nobody wanted him and he needed to change his shit.
True, father time is real.
It's been documented that he was not the most committed player in the offseason. Now, his talent was so good that he didn't necessarily have to be, but it's been documented that he wasn't the most committed guy. He wasn't always in the gym. He wasn't always working on his diet and shit like that.
He had a very individual mindset.
Mm-hmm.
He had a legit isolation mindset. Like he was more upset.
He was a dog. He was a straight dog.
He was more upset if he had 15 and a win versus him having 35 and a loss.
Yeah, that
was
who said that? I think like Kenyon Martin or somebody on one of those.
Not Kenyon Martin.
Chauncey.
Who dates Joy from?
Earl Watson.
I'm pretty sure.
Joy Taylor's fine too.
Earl Watson played with him in
Denver.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him that said it.
But yeah, so that's not.
This was years ago. This was young Mello. We're
talking
about now.
And Eric said that he had to make the change.
And it's been documented in the past couple of years that he has been putting in the work now.
But
what do you think Hoodie Mello came from?
But to give you a reason why he's had to do that is because he's no longer at the
he wasn't
skill level.
He wasn't the isolation killer no more.
Exactly. Now he has to perfect
he's still a walking
things.
Bucket.
He has to.
And
he has
still
to play
can
within
get you
a
12
system now.
to 15.
He has to play within a
bench.
system though.
And that system is get 12 to 15 off the bench.
But
and I think he could do it.
LeBron doesn't call him for no reason though. I don't think he.
But why did it take him so long
to call him? Because
he knew
he hasn't
been.
do it.
He hasn't been. It's not like he's been like
this
a
opportunity.
staple of. Sure, it did.
When did it present itself?
I mean, he was a free agent for like a year and a half. He was sitting on the bench and nobody was calling him. And he was.
I think it's a situation where we can get.
He was blackballed at that point, though.
I don't think he was blackballed. I think that he needed a reality check.
He kind of was blackballed.
When
Houston cut him,
he needed a reality check because he wasn't willing to.
He did. He needed to be humbled. I agree with that. But I think they're in a situation where the Lakers had a certain amount of free agent money left, and Melo is at a point in his career where he's only going to get so much money. So why not take a Carmelo Anthony? I think that's why the call was put into place. Not because he is somebody that we need to chase and we need to get right now.
Yeah.
But with the choices that we do have and the money that we can allocate, we might as well go for a Carmelo Anthony. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, there has to be a reason why they would pick him over somebody else that could fit that piece. You know what I'm saying?
12 to 15 that he'll get you.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see.
Here.
I don't think
I'm a Laker fan. I'm a LeBron fan.
That's documented since we're talking about documentation.
I'll say that. Fuck, I don't give a shit.
That's been documented.
Yep.
But I'm interested to see.
You're gonna win.
We got another monster in the East with the Nets. We were just talking about Kyrie. I would like to see what they can do this
Man, I'm
year.
not gonna lie. If
100%.
Kyrie doesn't play, I think their chances might be better. They have more defined roles, and it's a lot easier to kind of all right, James Harden, you are the distributor, and he can take more of a scoring load at this point.
Right.
And if they're not paying him, they could, that frees. I don't know. Does it free up their money if the players that aren't vaccinated aren't playing, or no? So it doesn't free up their money, but I feel like that a more defined role, and it's a lot easier to split possessions between KD and James Harden than it would be if you add the third head.
But for instance, what did you see in the playoffs?
They lost to the Bucks.
Okay,
in Game
and why?
7.
And why did they lose?
They were a shot away.
Because
a foot away.
Kevin Durant has his
If he
feet are
had
too big.
if he had size 13,
but if you had Kyrie, a fucking 25 to 30 points a game player,
listen,
you think they would have been losing said game?
7?
Listen,
no, I do not think they would have went to 7.
Kyrie Irving, for
They
as
blew them out
talented
that
as
series without him.
Kyrie Irving, for as talented as he is,
They blew him out and they went to 7.
They blew them out in a game. 2 games they blew them out in.
Okay, it still went to 7, did it not?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey.
Finish your point.
Kyrie Irving, for as talented as he is, he had one great year. He had one great postseason run.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what everybody is basing all this shit off of. Before that, he was a great talent but was too injured. After that, great talent but too much of a head case.
And injuries.
So it's like he is a talented player, and yes, he puts up numbers, but if you take out that one championship year, then it's a whole lot
I'm just saying,
a whole lot of nothing.
You take that amount of points off of
who's
those
to
are
say-
guaranteed points.
That's not guaranteed points.
Pretty much, what is his career averages?
That's not guaranteed though. It's an average. That is not guaranteed.
Yeah,
Averages
but
aren't
when
guaranteed.
he steps on a court, what is he usually
When
doing?
he's in the playoffs, in the regular season, that's fine. But playoff Kyrie is take out that 1 year, he is not the same player.
But either
He's
way,
just not.
my point, either way, besides if it's not a guarantee, whatever, I don't give a fuck. If you take out those kind of points, though, and you're putting the load on specifically James Harden and KD, yes, they could do it, but for how long? As you saw last year, it didn't work out because they couldn't do it to the end of the 7 games. How is it going to work if they don't have that again?
I don't believe in Kyrie in the playoffs. That is my point. I
I'm
don't
just saying,
believe in him in the playoffs.
a three-headed monster scoring 90 versus 2 people
But
now
you have to,
being
but
forced
you're
to score
saying,
90.
but you're
is two different
you're
things.
going off of that. He is going to give you 25. How many times in the playoffs have we seen that he is kind of disrupting the flow of the offense because he's trying to force his shot and trying to get his shot instead of working within the flow of the offense?
I feel like Kyrie doesn't try to force his shot too much.
I mean, I think you kind of make him sound a little inefficient. I don't
Not
think
inefficient. I'm in the playoffs. I'm not talking as
I
a
don't think
player. He is talented.
before he got hurt in this last playoffs, I don't think he was affecting the flow of hurting the flow of the offense.
But they had only played 7 games with each other,
and
or like however many games at that point.
correct. They had all been fucking injury prone throughout the whole season. They've all been taking time off. That's the problem with Brooklyn, though. Brooklyn isn't just a Kyrie thing. It's the whole team hasn't had the time or the chemistry to play together. But I'm just saying, Kyrie, as a talented player that he is,
we could get either or. We could get the season where he was great in the playoffs and he takes him to the next level, or we can get more of what we've gotten over the last few years.
But I just happen to lean more on what he's shown us.
I'm just saying, you're taking
a
big option of points off the board
and
with taking Kyrie out.
But to that point too, it's not always about the star power. It's about how you work as a team. And we've seen to the point, Carmelo Anthony had Allen Iverson, had a Chauncey Billups, had a Kenyon Martin, had a Marcus Camby, and they didn't do shit.
Yes.
We've seen super teams with Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard and Steve Nash. I mean, we've seen super teams.
But they were never putting up the numbers that KD, James Harden, and Kyrie were
in
together.
the playoffs. It no longer matters. Everybody's there can do the same thing
in the
athletically
playoffs,
for the most
matchups.
part.
It's all about matchups.
It's a mental game.
Either way in basketball, it's all about matchups. In the playoffs, if you're taking 90 points by 3 players, giving you 90 points, and then the rest of the team's giving you 20, 25,
right.
the whole rest of the team, you're already at 115, 120. Say you score 120 points a game. Right. You're most likely going to win that game.
In the playoffs, it's a game of inches. Literally.
Quite literally. Like we saw in the game.
The stakes are everything. It's crucial. It's mental. It is
mental, but it's also... If you're taking that many points off of a fucking...
You're looking too much at the points, though, because at the end of the day, to your
point...
On
paper, I agree with you.
On paper, exactly. To your point, in the playoffs, things are magnified. Like, it's not just
Shit's
about
slowed down.
points. It's not just all about scoring and
the
points.
Matchups.
You have to... Exactly.
Kyrie is a player that will get you... Like, at a certain point in the playoffs, they're going to double-team James Harden. They will double-team KD. Mm-hmm. If you're taking away another option... that could isolate, you could give Kyrie the ball, and Kyrie can do something with the fucking ball.
And to that point, he has only done that once in his career in the playoffs.
Okay, that's your only point.
No, you're banking on something that's only happened one time. I'm going off of.
I'm saying it's relieving the pressure off of the two stars you claim are going to carry them.
A whole career. I'm not. They're gonna the offensive load. Yes, but if Blake Griffin,
but when
LaMarcus
it's the playoffs and they're specifically focused on those two people.
They got to Game 7 within literally this much of winning Game 7 and going to the finals.
Yeah.
I don't think Kyrie Irving makes that big of a difference. In my opinion, I don't think he makes that big of a difference.
Maybe he wouldn't have given them that.
If Kevin Durant
probably wouldn't have gone to Game 7.
A little bit more.
Like right here, just moves that much.
If Kyrie was there, maybe they wouldn't go to Game 7.
We don't have this conversation.
If he was there.
He wasn't going to be there. If they go to the finals, do you think they're beating the Suns? Yes. So this conversation doesn't even matter. It literally was because Kevin Durant foot was right here instead of right here, and that's it.
Right.
Kyrie Irving would had
but if Kyrie
and
played,
all of last
I'm gonna
season,
tell you something.
All of last season too, he was up and down, like taking days off and shit, like all that. So
I'm gonna tell you something about that. If that shot goes in and they do go to the finals, we don't. It's a different conversation that we're having about Kyrie Irving. How important is he now?
Not.
He's not that significant.
More, you guys are talking about a lot of what ifs.
Yes. What we've seen him do,
but this is what it is.
I'm hearing a lot of what ifs.
It's a preview. We won't know until the end of fucking July or June, whenever the finals are, and we'll see who's holding up the Larry O'Brien. Which I don't think it's
Larry
going to be.
OB.
I don't think it's going to be the Nets. I mean, who do you think is going to go to the finals? Well,
the Heat.
Before that, oh god, here we go. Every year, every year,
and the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
So based from,
I'm not a play. Well, I mean, D-Wade's my guy, but I'm not just a fucking player fan that can hop around there, buddy.
Oh, he's trying to take.
I'm a fan of the Magic.
It's a team.
I'm a Magic fan. I like LeBron James because he's the greatest player of our generation. Probably, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time.
Behind you,
and I think he is. I want to see him continue to do great things until he retires. Mm-hmm. But if it came to the Lakers and the Magic in the finals, I'm riding with the Magic. Like, that's who I'm going with. I want to see them win.
Over LeBron?
Yeah.
Good
LeBron has rings. I want to see Magic win one.
Good for you.
Plus, that's the team that I'm excited for. That was on there, but that's the team I'm excited for. Jalen Suggs. I think he's going to be the shit. I think the Magic, I don't know how great they're going to be, but I think they have a really good young core, and it's going to be exciting to watch. They got to get a few more pieces around him. Maybe if they are, depending on how good he plays, maybe they can bring somebody in a free agency, like someone who's a little bit more defensive oriented. But I mean, Jalen Suggs, he plays both sides. Like, he scores. He is an all around player. Like, if he is what I think he can be, like, they found themselves their number one option.
What were you gonna say about the finals this year?
Oh, so like from the Bucks and the Suns, who do you think has a better chance of going to the finals this year?
Going back to the finals?
Yeah.
I mean, the Suns, that was almost a Cinderella story
The
type
Bucks.
shit.
I would agree.
Just because of who's in the West and how stacked the West is, and how they were able to slip through the creeks this past year. Not to take away from anything,
what they did was very impressive, but
as a team,
like I said, it was a Cinderella story in a sense. That was the first year they've done that.
All they had to do was get past that Lakers team, and that was not a healthy Lakers team.
Yeah.
And it still went to 7?
No, did it go to 7?
No. It went to 6?
5?
The Lakers won one game.
Yeah.
They won 2 games.
No, the Lakers won one game.
Yeah, no, they only won 1.
Really? Wow. You went to 6. They won 2 in a row, right?
Did they? Their first 2 home games, right?
Yeah, they won 2 in a row.
All right.
I was about to
There
say.
you go.
Either way,
We're not always right here, but we'll try and get it right. Shit.
Right. Definitely. So with that being said, I think the Bucks have a better chance just because of the conference that they're in.
Yep. Too bad it's going to be the Heat, but whatever.
Who
they got Kyle Lowry, nigga, and you got Faith.
I fucking hate him. Oh my god.
What the fuck? You
I
know
hate
better
him so
than
much.
that.
I hate him so much.
You got a ring.
I was so angry.
And Bam.
I mean, what else were they going to
Bam
get?
out of the
Who else were
bio.
they going to get?
Somebody wanted to get you a Bam jersey, and I told them don't do it because that nigga's not going to be there long enough. That's facts. Couple more years, he's going to be traded.
You think?
I do.
I think he's good. I think he kind of fits.
I don't think he's an asset enough to
I think he
to
fits
stay there. I think he's an
Nah.
asset enough to bring better players there.
You think he's a better asset than Jimmy Butler? I do.
No.
I think he's better than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler cannot score consistently. He's a great defensive player, and he's a great as far as culture wise for the Heat.
Fuck
Like
you. Could have used that jersey.
as far as culture wise, he fits them, but I feel like he offensively he is extremely limited.
Offensively?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can only do so much with that. I feel like Bam Although he might not be what Jimmy is defensively, like, he can still defend, and he's got a better offensive game. And
You're saying Bam isn't what Jimmy could do defensively?
Yeah.
Bam is a great defender.
I think Jimmy Butler is a better defender than... I'm not saying that Bam is an ass defender. I'm saying Jimmy Butler, that is his specialty. That is what he does. He is a hustle player. Like,
yeah, but so is Bam.
Okay, and
Do you not know why they beat
Bam.
the Celtics in a game?
I'm not knocking Bam. I'm not
like that fucking block. Like Bam is a.
I'm not saying he was
in the top 3 for defensive player of the year.
Saying he's a bad defensive player.
But you're giving
I'm not saying
Jimmy.
he's a bad player either. I'm just saying he's not a franchise.
I fuck with Jimmy. I fuck with Jimmy.
Christ,
Jimmy's
I
my guy.
can't no critiques over here about the Heat.
No,
he's not a franchise player. And
But-
in the next couple years, he definitely will.
But he was in the top 3 for defensive player of the year, and you're gonna say Jimmy was better than him on defense?
I think he's a better defensive player
That
overall.
makes no
Yes,
sense.
it is
That makes
because
no
of
fucking
one
sense.
season. Because of one season that
He's only been. The man is fucking. What is he? Fourth season in the league.
And Jimmy Butler has how many seasons in the league that he has been a great defensive player? Like, you have to understand. You have to understand what you have to understand. Neither has Bam.
I'm saying, has Jimmy been in the?
No, but
okay. So how is he a better defensive player?
Okay, but to that point, Bam
he brings more impact on the defensive side.
He hasn't been the defensive player of the year either, so that's a shitty point.
But Jimmy, I don't think has ever been even in the top 3. Usually, it's a big man award to win, though.
Exactly.
But
like Ben Simmons should have won the defensive player of the year this year, but they gave it to Rudy. Does that mean Rudy Gobert is a better defensive player than Ben Simmons?
No,
probably not, because Ben Simmons can guard all 5 positions.
To me, the best defender. To me, the best defender on the team is the guy that can guard the guy.
Jimmy Butler is guarding the guy. Bam is
only because the guy is usually a smaller player.
Okay,
but
well,
even if he's matched up against LeBron James sometimes because he's the guy.
And how's that work out for him?
How did that work out for Bam? They both
doesn't work out well for anybody.
I'm talking about like.
But your best defender has a higher chance of making. Your best defender has a better chance of making the opposing great player feel uncomfortable in some type of way. He might not be able to beat him one-on-one every time, but he's going to put him in positions where he feels uncomfortable. And that's all you can do with a fucking great player like LeBron James. You can only do so much.
So to your point, maybe Bam Adebayo.
I'm just saying Bam is not as shitty as y'all.
I didn't say he was shitty. At no point did I say he was shitty. All I said was
thinking he's not going to be there for a while. He'll probably
I actually gave him props. I gave him props. I said he might not be as great as a defender as Jimmy Butler, but he has a better offensive game. And you took that and said, "Oh, well, he's shitty. You think he's shitty?"
Jimmy Buckets,
and if he stays there,
his offensive game isn't as bad.
He very well could stay there the rest of his career, but he'll be a Udonis Haslem.
No,
that's what he'll be.
Don't ever.
And there's nothing wrong with UD, but UD,
he's better than Udonis Haslem.
He is, but if he stays there his whole career, he'll be a UD.
No.
I promise you.
Maybe he's seen in that light, but he's gonna have better numbers and be a better player overall than Udonis Haslem. I'll say that.
He'll be a role player, homie. That's what he's gonna be in the next coming years of his career.
This guy don't know
his ceiling is only so high, in my opinion. I think he's a great, skilled player. I just don't think he has the it factor like that. And there's a lot of guys in the league like that, and they survive and they play good basketball.
You think he's like a top 30 player
in the league right now?
Mm-hmm. Top 35.
No, I think he's a top 50 player.
Top 50. So you think he's like between 50 and 40?
I think he's between
45 and 50.
40 and 30.
40 and 30.
So yeah, 35 area, 40 area.
I mean, I could see that. I personally would probably put him a little higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they need another piece. They need someone that can. I know Dennis. He's a big fan of Bam.
Read it.
But I think they need more pieces.
My bigger point is to what's to come with Bam. I don't see
25.
I don't see his ceiling being that much higher. Is what I'm trying to say. Maybe he can be considered a 20 to 25 type player now. But in the coming years, I don't see him taking that anywhere else.
Jalen Suggs,
for your sake, I hope he does
is going to be better than him by the end of the year.
No.
I'm not trying to hate on the guy.
Jalen Suggs will probably have a torn ACL by the end of the year.
That's some hater shit.
Trying to hold the workload. Trying to get the Magic to do something.
That's some hater shit.
No, I'm trying to.
I want to see Bam prove me wrong. I want to see him thrive.
I hope he does good. Trying to